Hello, and welcome back to Spittin' Sports with Lamar. I am Casey Lamar, and I'm coming at you from the 256. In this one, I'm going to talk about the divisional playoff games for both the AFC and the NFC. We're down to the final 8 teams in the NFL this season. Last week, my playoff predictions were absolutely terrible. I was 1-3 in the 4 games that were played, but let's get on to this week. The first game on Saturday, we do have the Indianapolis Colts visiting the Kansas City Chiefs at 4:35 p.m. Eastern on NBC. The Colts, they went into Houston last week 21-0 at the half. That's all they needed. 21-7 was the final there. It's just was a surprise that Houston couldn't get anything going, but the Colts defense has been out to prove something. They've been told they aren't very good. They just don't have the talent yet, but they've been good, and that offense has been even better. The Chiefs, number 1 seed in the AFC, get this game at home in the freezing cold, possible snowy conditions. So could affect Mahomes. Could affect both teams, obviously, with the Colts playing in a dome. If there is snow. But the Chiefs' offense, I think they'll still find a way, unless it's just raining down like a blizzard style. They'll still be able to play their game. Damian Williams has played very good, stepping in for Spencer Ware and, of course, Kareem Hunt, who was cut. Patrick Mahomes, he's the MVP, number 1 player, number 1 quarterback on the number 1 offense. It's been a shocker. I expected him to be good, especially with the people around him, but for him to do what he's done, over 50 touchdowns, I believe he surpassed 5,000 yards. Just absolutely crazy from Mahomes. But in this game, I do expect offense. Depending on how the weather goes, I don't know how much snow it's supposed to be, but obviously snow is in play. But I'm going to go ahead and say that snow is going to be not a big factor for this game. They'll make sure the field's clear and that they're ready to play on it. And I think it'll be a shootout. I think it'll be high scoring, both teams possibly in the 40s. But I think I'm going to go the Chiefs 41. I'm going to go Colts 31. I think that the Chiefs make that many more plays, just a few more plays. The defense might get a couple turnovers, something like that, because Andrew Luck has had turnovers the last couple weeks. And I think the Chiefs, they move on to the AFC Championship game and beat the Colts. The second game on the schedule here, you have the Dallas Cowboys, who defeated the Seattle Seahawks last week. And in a great game, in a rematch from earlier this season, and the Cowboys got it done. Dak made that amazing play at the end of the game, getting the first down to seal the victory for the Cowboys. And then we know the Rams, the offense is just ridiculous with Todd Gurley. Jared Goff once was thought of a bust. He's now a top flight quarterback right now in this league. He's in a system that fits him, and he works well in that system with Sean McVay. Obviously, the Rams, they got a bye week as well as the 2 seed in the NFC. And the Cowboys, they've just found a way to win games. It's been fun to watch that because their games are close, but they just find a way to pull it off and pull out the victory. This one, obviously, in LA, 64 degrees, perfect weather to be playing some playoff football in. The game is at 8:15 Eastern Time on Fox. Fox will be the carrier for this game. The Cowboys are on a roll. They have been for a while. I expect them. They'll score some points, but when all is said and done in LA against that Rams offense, I just think the Rams are just too much when all is said and done in that game. I think it'll be a good game for a long stretch, but I think the Rams, they just start adding some touchdowns in the second half, and the Cowboys just can't keep up with them when all is said and done. I'm going to go Rams 28, Cowboys 20. I think they just stretch it out later in the game. Because I think it'll be 21-20 at some point, possibly. The Rams get that extra touchdown in the fourth quarter, make that extra play or two, and get the job done. I don't think the Cowboys are just going to get ran out of the stadium, but the Rams, I'll give them 28-20, and I'll go LA Rams to get the job done at home over the Cowboys. Okay, so on to Sunday, 105 on CBS. We have a game that could possibly factor snow as well. The Chargers, they went into Baltimore, corrected their problems from 2 weeks ago, and they shut Lamar Jackson down. They made Lamar Jackson look terrible. He had 6 yards passing through midway through the third quarter, I believe it was. The Chargers weren't crazy explosive on offense. They were moving the ball, but they were kicking a lot of field goals. But they got the job done. Lamar Jackson scored 2 late touchdowns. Not 2 late touchdowns, 2 fourth quarter touchdowns to make the game closer than it really was for the stretch of the game. But now the Chargers have to go into New England. New England had a bye week last week as the 2 seed in the AFC. And New England hasn't lost a game at home all season. Brady's played in these conditions plenty of times. He knows how to get the job done in these conditions. And New England's at home. And it's New England in the playoffs. Bill Belichick, Tom Brady. They're at home. Weather could be a factor. And I think it's more of a factor that's going to affect the Chargers, Rams, the LA Chargers, more so than the Patriots. It's just that defense from the Chargers can play, but when you have to factor in the possible snow and Brady, he's played in it before. I don't know the Chargers. They're an LA team and a super cold weather environment in the snow conditions that a lot of these guys have probably never seen or played in before. So I'm going to go the Patriots. I'm going to go the Patriots here, and I'm going to go Patriots 24-14. I think the Chargers find a way to get some points on the board, but the Patriots, they just take care of business, do what needs to be done. 24-14 is what I'm going to go with there. But if weather wasn't a factor, I think it could be a nail biter to the end, light up the scoreboard type of game. But I don't see that happening. 24-14 is what I'm comfortable with, and I'm going to go Patriots over the Chargers in that one. And then the final game on the slate, you've got the Eagles that find a way to do it with Nick Foles in the playoffs. We could be seeing the same thing that we saw last year. Nick Foles lead an unprecedented, an amazing run. I said it in a couple videos. All you got to do is make it to the playoffs and make it to the show, and anything can happen. A lot of the Eagles need to thank Cody Parkey with the double dink. I know it ended up being officially a block, but he's a man that knows how to hit the goalpost. He did it 6 times this year, I believe, and then he did it twice on that final kick. But the Eagles, they won. That's all that matters is who had the most points when the clock hits triple zero. But now they have to go into the number 1 seed New Orleans Saints. Sean Payton, Drew Brees have never lost a home playoff game together. They have home field advantage all the way through the playoffs. I'm not going to say the Saints are going to blow the Eagles out. They did beat them pretty mightily, pretty badly earlier in the season. But it's playoff football. Everybody plays a little bit harder, plays a little bit different. The refs let them play a little more. But I don't see the Eagles getting out of New Orleans with a victory in this one. I know last week I said the Bears would beat the Eagles rather easily. Obviously, that was a lie. I didn't know what I was talking about there. But this is a different monster with the Saints and Breeze in New Orleans in the Superdome. And I think it'll just be too much for the Eagles. I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout, but I'm looking at Saints putting up 35 to 38 points at home, 35 to 38. I think the Eagles, they make some plays, maybe even some later in the game, but I think the Saints will be too far ahead. I'm going to give them a 10 to 14 point range. I don't really consider that a blowout. I'm gonna say 38, 28, 38, 24. But I just think the Saints, they'll be too much. Their defense is now as good as their offense. The Eagles with Nick Foles, they make plays and they do what they need, do what they've needed. They've done what they've needed to do the last two postseasons to this point. Obviously, won the Super Bowl last year, and then went into Chicago and beat the Bears last weekend. But I don't think they go into New Orleans and get it done. I'm gonna say, I'll officially say 38-28, and I'll give New Orleans Saints the victory, and I think they head on to the NFC Championship by beating the Eagles. If I hadn't said it already, the game is at 4:40 Eastern, and it will be covered by Fox. Fox will be carrying this football game. But that's all I wanted to say about the matchups and my predictions for the divisional round, our divisional round of the playoffs with the AFC and NFC matchups. But that's just my take. Go ahead and let me know what you're thinking for these games down in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like, share the content, and subscribe to the channel for more videos. But that's where I'll leave this one. This has been Spittin' Sports with Lamar. I am Casey Lamar. Look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.